Hi parents and guardians, and thank you so much for watching my back to school night video. I really look forward to teaching your child biology this year. This moment from my dining room, hopefully in the near future from room A113. Just a little bit about my educational background. I did my undergraduate work at the University of Pittsburgh, my master's at Chatham University, which is also in Pittsburgh, and then my PhD at Immaculata University in gifted education. I have taught for Immaculata over the last few years, and I've been proud to teach at Methacton for more than 14 years. The best professional development I ever did was in 2017, 2018 when I took a sabbatical. And you can find out more about that and more about me at my website, www.parachutingbeaver.com. If you'd like specific facts on Methacton, both my environmental science and my biology classes, you can just go to that same web address, /Methacton. At the bottom, you can see the van that I lived in for 14 months, traveled all over the United States, Canada, Mexico, just seeing the public lands in America and getting to meet people all over the United States. This really helped me to get a better perspective on biological sciences, just by giving me a better perspective on North America. I say to the students that having goals is important because if you don't dream big, you'll never achieve big things. So I shared with your students my bucket list to show them that you can put some pretty ridiculous and outrageous things on there, because if you do, then they're in your mind, they're in your thoughts, and you work every day to make one little step or progression that helps you to get to these really amazing and enormous goals. Ever since I can remember, I've wanted to go to outer space. And I say to the students that I am probably too old to go to real outer space or to go to another planet. But NASA says that right now, the students that are in high school, they're going to be the ones that go to Mars, or they're going to be the ones that help people go to Mars. And so your child is looking potentially to have a job that doesn't even exist yet. And so while biology is important, creative and expansive thinking is even more important. What am I going to be and how am I going to get there? I want to visit every country in the world at least once. Right now I'm at 45, and so I'm just a little bit under halfway. I'd like to speak 3 languages. I tell the kids that there's things that I'm good at and things that I'm not. I love and am a great science teacher. What I'm not so good at is spelling and languages. I work super, super hard at it, and it's just something that I struggle with. So everybody struggles with something. Some of my students are going to be amazing at biology, pick it up really quickly. Some are going to need a little bit more support. I'm going to be there for your child no matter where on that spectrum they fall. Climb Denali. I love to climb mountains. I love to hike. And I think that Denali will be hopefully the most difficult hike that I ever complete. I'd also like to walk 100,000 miles. I'm chugging along towards that right now. I have finished the Appalachian Trail. You saw my photo on the first slide of me at Katahdin. I am about half hiked on the Continental Divide Trail, and I've gone from the Mexican border to LA on the Pacific Crest Trail. So I am well on my way to my 100,000 mile mark. I'd like to volunteer at the Golden Temple. The Golden Temple is a Sikh temple in India, and they feed the largest number of homeless people of any organization in the world. And for me, it would be a deep honor to be able to volunteer at this organization. I'd like to give a TED Talk. This might be the most important thing on my list. Why? Because it's what drives me to want to be on the cutting edge of education all the time. It makes me go out and read extra articles and really fight to find the best new technique to make education for your student the best that it can be. And once I've come up with my new educational thing, something that's so great that the TED Talk people will want me to share it with a wider audience, it's going to be so amazing that Google's going to do a Google Doodle of my new educational tactic. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but this is my dream big. It drives me to want to be an even better teacher every single day of the year. Contacting me. Email is the best way, especially because I'm not in the brick and mortar building. I check my email all the time. I even check it in the evening. So I will work very, very hard to get back to you as soon as possible, whether that be to give you a piece of information that you're requesting, set up a time to help your student, or just, fill you in on something that you're confused about. Please reach out to me at any time and for any reason. Here are some topics that we're going to cover in biology. I'll just give you a moment to scan through the list. Now, these are obviously just the big, broad topics that we're going to cover. There's so many little subtopics that fall under each of these, and hopefully your student will find biology really interesting because it's about them and it's about the world around them. This slide is a little bit more for when we actually get back to the brick and mortar. There will be no large tests while we're in the virtual environment. I just feel as though testing over when we're doing Zoom classes doesn't necessarily give me the fullest and best understanding of what your student knows. And so that's where the major projects are going to come in. They're going to do a lot more group work, a lot more project-based learning so that they have the maximum ability to show me what they know. Current events and awareness. I hope not to just teach your child biology. I hope to teach them all kinds of other soft skills surrounding it. Obviously, biology is changing every single day, and so I like to try to use whatever is going on in the current news. And so not only do I want to present your child with the most up-to-date biological information, I want them to know that if I present a current event article, every single newspaper, every single news source falls on a spectrum, and that they have to know that those journalists are aiming towards a particular audience, and they should know what that audience is. Is that audience a more left-leaning, a more centralist, a more right-leaning? None of these are good and bad things. It's just information. So if they look up an article and they look it up and it's from the New Yorker, that's a really left-leaning piece of work. If they go to the Fox News opinion, that's going to be a really right-leaning. If they hit something like Al Jazeera or BBC, that's going to be a much more centralist piece. Where is that person who's writing the article fall on the political spectrum, and what does that lead them to put into their article that might make it slightly different depending on where they receive that information? How to succeed in science this year. I am here for your child. If we were in the brick and mortar, I would be in school at 6 a.m. and I would not be out of school most days until 4 o'clock. I am here for your child. I am here to make sure that they succeed. Please have your child reach out to me. You can reach out to me. The sooner we catch any issues, the better, because biology builds, and my strong feeling is that we are going to have keystones this year, and I want to make sure that your child is prepared to succeed. Make sure that they're studying. I know a lot of students sort of think that being online means that the material is not going to be as rigorous as it would be brick and mortar. I'm here to tell you that I work extremely hard to make sure that your child is getting virtually what your child would have gotten if I saw them in the brick and mortar building. So please make sure that they know that the information that's presented virtually is going to carry throughout the rest of the year. It's going to be there at the midterm, be there on the keystones, be there on the final. And so I want to make sure that every single one of them is getting every single piece of material. Make sure that they do homework. Mostly homework is going to be kind of done during the virtual session, but if they don't get it finished, making sure that they do finish up. Extra credit will come back when we return to school, and I'll cover that with your student when we do. This is a really important year for looking to next year because there are so many science choices. There's chemistry in the community. All your child has to do is pass biology. There is academic chemistry. They need a 70% in biology and a 70% in Algebra 1. Dual enrollment means that your child will be dually enrolled at Methacton and at Montgomery County Community College. They need an 82 in academic biology and an 82 in either Algebra 1 or geometry. Honors chemistry, they need a 90% in academic bio and then a 90% in academic Algebra 1 or academic geometry. If your child would like to discuss any of these options with me, I'd be more than happy to do it one-on-one with them. Rules to live by in A113, they're really simple. Be polite, be safe, be prepared, be prompt, and show personal responsibility. I will work to meet your child wherever they are in their learning journey. Please tell them that I'm here for them. I tell them all the time, but sometimes it comes across a little better when it comes from more than one source. Thank you so much for coming this evening. Enjoy the rest of your time at Methacton's Back to School Night, and I look forward to seeing your child in class tomorrow.